Please do share this with your friends, your families, and just anybody who... Actually, everyone should watch this video because everyone is going to have this digital TV. And many people may be confused about why the advertisement says that you can pair the controllers, yet you are recommended not to pair your controllers. Hey guys, welcome to today's vlog. We are going to talk about the digital TV. If you're not living in Singapore, you may not know what digital TV is, but it's basically something which the whole Singapore has to kind of adhere to by this year end. So let me show you how the box looks like. Yours may be black, it may be white, but this is the digital TV box, and you have to fix one of these to your television by year end, otherwise you will not be able to watch your channels anymore. Now if you have a digital enabled TV, then you may not need this box, but you still need to attach an antenna. So it's either just the box and the antenna or just the antenna itself. Today what I'd like to share with you guys is actually how to operate the digital TV. Many of you know that I'm very much into this kind of technology stuff. I get a lot of questions like, you know, how on earth do we get this digital TV, this big, you know, yeah, it's always, people get so irritated with this thing, okay? So it's this new government initiative that people are so irritated with. The reason is because they find it so difficult to use, this box. So I'm going to share with you really cool information, like even a bit of information on your serial number of your digital TV box. So let's get to it. Now the first thing we're going to talk about is the box. So the box looks like that. This is your digital TV box, and for many of you, if you have problems, the first thing you have to do is to actually call this number 66555571. It's under M1. Now M1 is not the one who is selling these boxes, in case you're wondering, okay? It's not under Singtel and StarHub. So the first question that many people ask is, why is it that some people have this box and some people do not have this box? Now the answer is very simple. If you have StarHub TV or Mio TV, that means you have a cable TV by either Singtel or StarHub, you will not get a free digital TV box. So it's only if you don't have these two that you are eligible for a free digital TV box. Now, supposing you haven't gotten your box, you haven't gotten any letter about it, something is quite wrong. So what you have to do is to contact this number here, 66555571. Once the box is fixed onto the television, you will have to control it, but there's so many ways to control it. I'm actually going to teach you guys the easiest way to control your digital TV. Now I'm going to teach you guys two ways. So I'll first teach you the most effective way, alright? And actually I dislike teaching the second way because it doesn't work on all televisions. So I'd rather teach you the way that works on all, right? But let's just cover the basics of two ways. The first thing to do is to look for your old controller and look for this button. It looks something like that. Some of them just have a picture like that, which is a box and an arrow. Some others is a circle and an arrow. Some other call it TV/AV. Some controllers actually call it input, right? So there are so many different ways they can call it, but what you're looking out for is really a circle and an arrow, or the word source, or the word TV/video, okay? You have to first look out for that. Now why? Because when you have that controller, when you have your old controller, now you are supposed to use two controllers. That's the first method I want to teach you. It works on all televisions. Later I'll explain to you why using one controller is quite a bad idea. But now let's assume that we have to use two controllers. So you have to use two controllers to control your digital TV, and therefore it's very important for you to first of all find this button here. In this new controller, it looks like that. So it's always something with an arrow there. Now why do you need to find this button? Because now that you have two controllers, your old controller is to control your television and your new controller is to control the TV box which is there, okay? The digital TV box. The first controller is meant to control your television, so use it for the on-off of your television and the volume, which is here. So on-off and volume. So now you understand this, have your two controllers in front of you, find this button here, that's very important, and understand this. Your old controller is used for the on-off and the volume and nothing else. You're not going to use the channels anymore. On-off and volume, nothing else, okay? So why do you need to learn this button? Because you understand that your old controller is for the on-off and volume, but you have friends coming and people visit your house, they won't know. So they're going to pick up this controller and they're just going to start pressing the buttons. And for some televisions, pressing the buttons, it actually jumps back to the old analog TV. Or in some cases, some people may want to play their games like a PS4, your Xbox or whatsoever, and they set it to another input source, alright? So how do we get it back to your digital TV source? What you have to do first of all is to press this button. So look at this box here. If the back cable is a black cable, if this one is a black one, then you have to look for HDMI input, okay? If it is black, you look for HDMI input. If you see another cable which is say colorful, which you see like red color, yellow color and white color, if you see a different colored cable, then you have to look for AV. So just remember this, if it's colorful, it's AV, if it's full black, it's HDMI, okay? That's what you're supposed to look out for. So if you just see a full black, it's HDMI. For my case, it's HDMI. Now, I will set it to the old television. If you have it at your old television, this is what you'll see. You actually see a line here. Maybe in future they will change this, but you know it's the old television and it's restricted view, right? And after December, you will no longer see anything down here. So what you have to do is to look for this button here. Press that button. Just keep pressing the same button. Press it. And your television will have a different screen, but the main idea is to look for, in my case, HDMI. Now once I find the HDMI input, I will stop there and I will press OK on this controller. I'll just press OK. It will jump to HDMI and that's where I get my digital TV. So remember, this is a very important button. Press this, keep pressing the same button until you get to your input source. Now if you don't know what your input source is, just keep pressing it and try one by one. Press OK and ask yourself, is this my digital TV input source? No, it is not because of this line here. So I press it again. I press OK and now I see the line is gone. This is my digital TV mode. So I know that I'm on the correct mode already. Now, talking about the two controllers now that I'm in my digital TV mode, I have to use two controllers. So the old controller is for the on-off and the volume. Only on-off and volume. You do not use it for the channels. You do not use it for anything else except the on-off and the volume. I'm repeating this so many times because it's a very commonly asked question. The new controller, what do we use it for? There are so many ways to change the channel, so I'm just going to go down to the easiest way. The easiest way is to tell your friends and family members to ignore every button except the center three, OK and up down. You only look at the OK and up down. You can ignore everything on top, you can ignore everything below. If you want, you take a scotch tape and just block everything off except the OK and up down arrows. Now let me teach you the first method. The first method is for younger people. So if you're a young person, you would probably love this method. Step 1, I press OK, opens a menu, up down to choose the channel I want, and press OK and it will jump there to the channel you want. Okay, so remember that again. Let's change to Octo now. Press OK, press down to Octo and press OK again. It will jump to the channel you want. That is a very simple method for younger people. OK, up down to choose and OK again. If you have like older people in the house and they just cannot remember this, there are two kind of people. The first one is that they cannot remember these kind of steps. The second one is that they press down the button and they press it too long. Now if you press it too long, this is what you're going to see. Let me show you. I'm going to press the OK and not let go for some time. It will actually open and close the menu consistently. Okay, I'm just pressing it this way. So if you have family members who are doing this, it means that they cannot press fast enough. Either they try to learn to press fast, otherwise they will have this problem. When they press up, instead of going one channel up, this is what's going to happen, okay? They're going to press up and it will actually go a few channels up. And this is a very, very common problem. So what you want to do in such a case is, instead of teaching them the OK and up down method, just teach them one button, just the up arrow. So you just teach them this up arrow here, okay? Now, how are they going to change the channel? Let me show you. So they are at the television and they point the up arrow. Just press the up arrow once. It will change the channel. If they don't want to watch this, they press it again. If they don't want to watch this, they press it again. If they want to watch this, they just stay there. Alright? That box there will close on its own, so you don't have to worry. Just wait and it will close on its own. So that's how you operate the digital TV with two controllers. It's very, very simple. It's basically using the old controller for the on, off and your volume, and the new controller for changing channels, which is OK and up, down, or just the up arrow. How about the numbers? Why can't I just press the numbers? Let me explain to you what is the problem with this system. Okay, the problem is that it is so slow. If you're a young person, you probably will understand how this works. But if you're an older person, it doesn't make sense to you. You're expecting that every button does something, right? But yet when you press, nothing happens. Let me show you how it looks like. Say example, I want to change to channel 5. I'm supposed to press number 2. When they press 2, the number appears there, but look at how long it takes to change the channel. It takes about 2 seconds. Let's try that again, okay? Number 3. Now notice the lag before it changed the channel, right? It's very long. So what happens is that the older people or people who do not know this, they're looking at the controller, they press the number and they think, oh, it's not receiving. It has not received what I'm trying to press, so they press again and again and again. Or in another case, they press the button and hold it there too long. Instead of getting a number 2, it becomes 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and it gets invalid channel again. So that is a very difficult way to actually control your DTV. Now the other thing is the volume button. I didn't teach you to use the volume button on this, and let me explain to you why. Supposing now I use the volume button here at the bottom left of your circle here, there's this volume plus minus. You can see that it goes up, but the volume change is so insignificant, it's as good as not even using it at all. And that's the reason why I don't teach you to use the volume button here. So that explains now why I only taught you to use the OK and up down arrows on this controller. Other than that, you can just block out everything else and just use the old controller for the on, off and volume buttons. That's the most ideal way. Okay, so let me explain to you why I don't recommend you combining your controllers. Now the reason is very simple. Let me show you. This controller is a Huawei. It's a compatible controller, and many of you actually have a compatible controller. That television is an LG, but the controller here is a Huawei. So the problem is that when you try to pair an incompatible controller to this controller, the tendency is that when you press the button, you may jam up this controller, you may jam up the box, and there may be problems. And that's why I don't recommend pairing this over to this. How about if you have a compatible one? Then it again depends on the model of your television. Sometimes you try to pair it and it doesn't go across, and the reason is because when you try to pair it across, there is an error. Maybe it's a different communication form and the new controller cannot understand what your old controller is trying to say. A very common jam that we experience is when you press this button and the light just turns on like this. Let me just show you. I turn it away and show you. You see that blinking light? It turns on and oh, my television still turned off. Okay, so it turns on and it doesn't turn off, and that's one of the most common errors that you face when you actually try to pair your controller over. However, if you are still interested in pairing, let me show you how it's done. You can only pair the buttons in this white box. So it's a very simple technique. You just put the two controllers facing each other. What you're gonna do now is to press the set button here. Look at the light. Do you see it become brighter? Okay, once it becomes brighter, what you're going to do is very simple. You're going to press the button that you want to pair across. Press the source and it'll start blinking. Come here, point this controller towards that controller and press the source. And don't let go until, do you see that? It blinked and it stopped. Let me try that again. Source, it blinks, I press, it blinked and it stops. That means it's done. So I let go of this. Do that for all 4 buttons, the on with the on, the volume up with the volume up, the volume down with the volume down, and once you're done, press the set button again. It will be fully set. Now, so now if I press this source button, it will open my source there. Can you see that? I don't have to press this button here. However, like I said, some controllers will not be able to pair over to this, and sometimes you may face other problems when you try to pair your controllers. It may be a jam, it may be inaccuracy when you press the button. So I don't recommend doing that, and the method which I teach you is very simple. It works on all televisions. It's easy because if everyone adopts this method, going to any house would be so much easier. You know how to control the channels and you will not press the wrong buttons at any point of time. Alright, so that's pretty much how you control your digital TV and how it works. I hope this really clarifies a lot. Now let me share with you something very interesting about your DTV box. If you turn the bottom over, you can see a code number here, 180510. Now what you're going to look at is actually the 4th number from here. So after the 180, if it is a 118, it is quite stable. If it's a 510, it is actually quite unstable. So you may realize that 510 versions tend to jam a lot. Now the 510 versions also have a lot of jams on your remote controls. Now the stable versions would be the 418, 118, 626 as well as 628 versions. So you won't get crashes, your box won't spoil so fast. But if you fall within the 510 or even some of the 418s actually tend to have quite a bit of issues with their boxes. Anyway, if you have any problem, what you should really do is to contact 6655-5571 and one will actually help you with the problems. Even if you're having an old version of the box, you can just contact them and see whether they are able to help you. The antenna to this is actually this white antenna here. I'm sure many of you have seen this antenna, alright? And your installer may have placed the antenna on the table, he may have placed it, I don't know, hanging at your window frame. The important point about this whole thing is not to stick your antenna on the wall. As opposed to the advertisement asking you to stick your antenna on the wall, you don't want to do that. Now the reason is because the signal is not always stable where you put it. Think about this as the old time technology where you may have to move the antenna a bit here and there to receive the signal. It's sometimes similar to this, okay? It's not as bad as those times where you have to face it in a certain direction, but it may be bad in the sense that sometimes there's signal and sometimes there's no signal. To check the signal, what you have to do is to press the info button here. So it opens up this box and you can see a blue line and green line, and as long as both are above 50%, it is considered very stable. Now, however, this is a very bad way of checking because even at 20 or 30%, some of your televisions will actually show the channels as per normal. So my advice on checking the signal is actually to just watch your television channels, and if it doesn't pause, the sound doesn't pause, it just plays on normally, that is acceptable. If you start to see them jerk or pause or just not move, then what you want to do is actually to shift the antenna around, hook it around. The key word here is to hook it. You don't want to stick it on a permanent place. Hook it anywhere you want, and that, in my opinion, is one of the best ways that you can actually watch your digital TV without any interruptions. Alright, so that's all I have to share with you guys today. Thank you so much for joining me. Please do remember to share this video with your friends, like and subscribe to our channel because we're going to share a lot more stuff. Do watch our Saturday vlogs too because we have a lot of fun activities that we want to share with you guys, and yeah, you know, we're really working hard on this. We really want to inspire and, you know, enrich viewers as they watch our videos, right? Thank you so much for joining us once again. Stay cool, stay awesome, and beware as always. Bye!